Hello all you wonderful people, I hope you're doing fantastic, and in today's video I'm going to talk about spirits, spirit guides, and the ones we call the positive ones, which some people would call guardian angels, and the negative ones, which some people call demons or demonic. Personally, I see it as a positive and a negative, and we are all one in this divine plan, and part of the all oneness is the universal laws that we face, and one of them is the law of polarity. And the law of polarity says that we must have opposites and that everything must have a positive and a negative. So this God that we see, this overall oneness of God, must have a positive and a negative based on the law of polarity. So we must have what we see as these two energies as positive and negative. They have to happen to exist, and in fact they need to happen for a balance of some sort or the other. So what I am doing is I am doing the best I can in accepting the negative energy. I look back in my life, and what I used to do is I used to get so depressed and so mad, the fact that things are going so bad, things won't get better, and that's sending energies out to the negative energies. And now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to look back at the past and look at what these negative energies have done, not only in this lifetime, but most likely in previous lifetimes, and accept the fact that it has happened. Accept it, because it's part of the divine plan, and it had to happen for whichever reason, and I'm going to figure, I'll find out what that reason is later on. And so we have to have both the positive and the negative entities in this world. And these entities, I think, help us in the law of attraction, because like I was saying, when you say to yourself and you look back at the past and you say, my life has sucked, I mean, I haven't had much in relationships, or I haven't had much money coming in, well, you're bringing negative vibrations into the world, so you are feeding the negative spirits, or what we call the demonic spirits, and that's bringing bad back to you. That's how the law of attraction works. And when you're out there saying, it's a beautiful day, it's a wonderful day, great things are going to happen to me today, stuff of that positive vibration, that goes to the higher vibration spirits, and then they work as far as bringing good stuff back into your life. So if you have around 100 good statements in a day and 50 bad statements in a day, then in a sense you're taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back. Where if you're having 100 negative statements and 50 positive statements, you are taking 2 steps back and 1 step forward, and therefore you'd be creating negativity in your life. Because these spirit guides, the negative or the positive spirit guides, they are there to assist you and guide you to finding out who you are and who you want to become. That's what they're there to do, and they're there to help you in the direction of the light, because who you want to become is the direction that you're going. So they're there to help you in that direction, where the negative guides or the demonic spirits are there to take you off of your path, to try to do what they can to direct you away from it. And I learned that from a person who is in the Satanism religion. He said that the negative ones were doing that. Now, I already knew that the positive ones were to help you go towards the light, and it makes me feel better because he's assuring stuff for me, and it was the gods that told me before, or my spirits that told me before, that this, what we call the negative energy, what we call Satan or the devil or the demons, we can learn a lot from them because they have a lot of information for us that would be beneficial for us. And the Satanism guy said that he had a gift, and his gift was that he could just think of something, he could see somebody, and he could see them on a bike and boom, make them fall off their bike. Or he could have them scrape their knee. And I laughed. Not because of what happened, no, not because of that, but because I was understanding it. First of all, he said it was only for something like that, only. He used that word only. So that was a big thing there. And in that sense, it was like, So you're feeling the love that we've been giving you for 17 billion years. You are starting to feel bad for all the stuff you have done. However, you are still more negative than positive, that you're going to be doing negative things. So all you're going to do is you're going to have him fall off his bike. Well, what that means in the future to me is that when the world is more positive over negative, instead of having someone fall off their bike, when there's a child having difficulties learning how to ride a bike, we use the energies to help them, guide them to ride the bike. And instead of falling and scraping their knee, you do something to avoid their fall so that they do not scrape their knee. Stuff like that. And I was also thinking too, so in this lifetime he wanted someone to fall off their bike. What did he want in his last lifetime? Did he want someone to fall in the fire and burn? Maybe. Because it probably was worse, because he has felt more love since that point. And when I look at, say, for example, I see it as two energies. Like there is a negative one and a positive one. And I look at, say, the book Conversations with God, and did it come from spirits? I'd have to say it did. Now, did this come from the oneness, the all one mighty God? No, it did not. Well, it did. I mean, a part of it, but it's a one-sided story, that book, Conversations with God is. It is a completely one-sided story. It's in the side of love. It's the higher frequency, because there is a positive God and a negative God. That book seems to me that it was messaged from a positive God. And I've heard other religions and people say, well, it has to be the work of the devil or Satan or demons that were channeling the messages. And I think the reason why they think that is because they look back at history. That's what they're thinking. They're not looking in the future, they're looking back at the past. And in the past, they have traumatic subconscious feelings, because all of this stuff that was used before with spirits was used in a negative way. It was used for the feeling of pain and suffering and hurtness. And because they feel the feeling of bad, they understand the feeling of good, then it makes them think of it in a negative way. Where when we use the law of polarity, that means the opposite has got to happen. So that means that when you use it with love, that brings love in the air. It will be the opposite of the way it was before. So instead of using it for hatred, you use it for love and such like that. And that is how I see how this works, is if you're trying to channel spirits and you are very negative, you are most likely going to channel negative energies in your life, and it could make things worse for you. And if you are in a positive mode and you're trying to channel spirits, you will channel the positive spirits into your life. So make sure that if you want to do this, that you feel yourself that you are comfortable with the situation, you accept the fact that there's positive and negative energies, and you can truly say that you love yourself and that you can love others. Because when that's the case, you will have a much easier time channeling these spirits and guidance to whatever you are looking for in guidance. So that would be my advice as far as working with the spirits, because no matter what, they're always working with you anyway. And that's the best way to do it, I think. So let me know what you think. Send your video comments or your text comments below here, and that would be great to hear then what you have to say about that. And like I say, gratification is the key. So I'm going to thank you for watching this video. Peace, love, and light, and have yourself an amazing day. Bye-bye, everybody.